Película, la secció oficial, Meanwhile on Earth, de Jérémy Clapin. Té una història aquesta pel·lícula per nosaltres perquè l'any passat ja la volíem posar a la secció oficial. Passa que per temes de distribució la pel·lícula va passar al 2024 i la van mantenir i van tancar-la ja molt aviat en Berlín i la venir aquí. És una pel·lícula que ens agrada moltíssim, és una pel·lícula, podria ser de ciència-ficció, però és moltes coses més. Aquesta sensibilitat i aquesta manera de fer cine que té en Jérémy, que ja havia demostrat en Where is my body, recordeu, una pel·lícula d'animació maravillosa, que vam tenir a Sitges fa uns anys i ara tenim la nova pel·lícula de Jérémy. Així que rebem amb un fort aplaudiment Jérémy Clapin.
Thank you again for inviting me for the festival. So I'm coming from animation, and this is my first live-action movie. There is still some animation inside, I have to say, to be honest. And the starting point of the film was the space, and more specifically the space from the point of view of the Earth. And we are stuck on Earth, we are always fascinated by space, and we cannot reach this territory. And for me, it's like we are in the present, we want to reach the past or the future. We are in the reality, we want to reach the imaginary. And I like the fact these two territories are facing and frustrating each other, and I start to think about maybe there's a kind of in-between world where everything is mixing together. And I wanted to bring the audience into this in-between world as a character. The character is a girl on Earth, but fascinated by something she lost in space. And she's stuck between animation, live action, reality, and imaginary. I hope you enjoy the film.
Super! Jérémy Clapin, el director. So this is your first feature film. You did animation before, and I was wondering how hard it was to go from animation to feature fiction.
I think I started to, I love film above the medium, and I started to study animation because it was easy for me to draw and make my film alone. And but I always this fantasy to do live action. But once you are engaged in a medium, you make your many film in animation, then it starts to be hard to move to another medium. So after I lost my body, I had this opportunity to try really what I want for the next film, because I lost my body, had some success. And in France, we are lucky, we have the CNC who can give funding to do your film. And you know, they didn't help us on I Lost My Body. Really, we received no money to make the film. So I knew that they were a bit feeling kind of guilty, and they will help my next one. So it was the moment to try to make live action. And if you think too much, you're not doing the move. So because I know very well animation and very not well live action.
Did you ever think about doing Meanwhile on Earth as an animation project, or was it always live action?
No, from the beginning it was really live action intended. I wanted something to confront also the film with nature, with chaos, with brutality. And I think I was looking for something animations couldn't bring me the same way. So I was really, from the beginning the film was in live action, but I wanted also to, as I said at the beginning, to create a dialogue between reality, imagination, and a confrontation. And that's why from the beginning also I had in mind to put some animation, because I know it creates something in the audience, inside myself, and it will help to be in the skin of the character, Elsa.
The film is anchored somehow in a certain reality. I think you have avoided the traps of doing kind of like a guionnesque science fiction movie with like blood and all. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about these choices to kind of stay in the reality rather than going for grotesque genre.
Yes, I think I like when the fantastic is really subtle, and so you have a foot in reality, but you start walking in something strange, and that's why there is no many representation of fantastic into the film, but enough to create the doubt and the strange and infected reality, I would say. And I like this balance. Also, it's a balance useful when you don't have money to do film, but it creates also. I mean, the more you suggest the thing, the more you implicate the audience, and the audience has to walk into the film to make some work also, and it implicates the audience. So I like also this kind of dialogue with the movie.
La meva pregunta aniria al que en les dues pel·lícules, tant en Dónde, está cuerpo com en aquí, tot el nucli narratiu és sobre la cerca del que li falta al protagonista per sentir-se complet, sigui la mà que li falta el cos, sigui una persona que li falta una altra persona. I al mateix temps, en aquesta pel·lícula, l'ens alienígena pronunciar les paraules tots som un. M'agradaria saber quin és l'impuls que té Jérémy per parlar d'això i aquest contrast amb el que li diu l'ens alienígena. Merci.
First of all, congratulations for your film. And afterwards, he would like to know, in your last two films, in I Lost My Body and also in this one, there's always something missing to the main character, either a hen or another person. And here the alien says something like, we are all one. And he would like to know what's the idea compelling you to talk about this in your films.
It's not funny, but it's funny somehow, because I didn't want to make a film about loss at the beginning, and the film actually is about loss, because I was really thinking about space and what I was trying to articulate at the beginning about Earth and the relation with space, and it brings also the story of the world of the living in front of the world of the dead people, and so it brings this ghost story and so the lost. So it comes really with the fascination of space. And for my experience about that, I don't know anything about loss. I mean, I've lost a cat, and it was really awful for me, and I still have my parents. So I think I'm very scared about what is going to be in front of me soon, and maybe it's a kind of exercise to put it on film, but it's not personal, it's not something personal. I'm really anticipate something.
I would really like to talk about cinematography because I find, so Elsa is a very lonely character, and then I find that the cinematography is absolutely magnificent, and I felt that it was adding to this loneliness, the way it was framed, the way we see her throughout the movie. It somehow accentuated her loneliness, and I was wondering if you could talk about this a little bit.
Yes, I think there was a necessity to bring into the film another point of view, the point of view of the brothers, of the missing part, and that's why there is a lot of shot from, not top shot, but something more up. And I think it was something also because the main character was on each shot on the film, so it was really intense for the actress, Megan. And little by little, she started to be like a person talking to nobody in the forest, in the film, but also during the shooting, because we had this kind of voice. Sometimes it was a voice on her ear, or someone talking to her and walking out of the frame. But she little by little, she was in this kind of loneliness too. So I think it brings some density also in the role of Elsa.
Yo quería preguntarle por ese final tan ambiguo que hay, que está abierto a diferentes interpretaciones, si era algo que le apetecía, es decir, la posibilidad de que cada uno se haga sus propias preguntas, reflexiones sobre qué habría hecho en esa situación y sobre qué es lo que ocurre realmente dentro del tema general de la pérdida.
Yes, it was in the script because the film tried to make exist at the same time the reality, the dream, the space, the earth. So I wanted to be in this kind of mood at the end of the film, so you can be in the reality or you can be in the dream. So it means if Elsa she has two choices at the end. She can sacrifice herself, or she can just forgive his brother and live her life in the beach. For me, there is only one ending, but I don't want to push it too much. There is some information in the film at the end where you can see if it's dream or reality. So maybe we have to look twice at the film, but there is some glitch at the last sequence, so we can imagine maybe it's not reality anymore. But when you dream, you don't know you're dreaming. So it helps me also to keep this confusion between dream and reality.
And we're actually running out of time now, but I still have one last question because I really want to talk about the casting. The actress who plays Elsa, obviously the entire film rests on her shoulders, and I was just wondering how hard it was to find her. Did you think of her when you wrote the film? How long was the process to cast her?
It was long because I knew that I had to confront myself with different actresses, and it's not a choice. You can do it. You can do you have to think a lot because it will be your film. And I think it was kind of obvious when Megan came to the casting, and she was, when she was reading my lines, she made me believe about the story, and I was in need of an actress who can be really on earth and not too much mystical. And she had these capabilities to be very intense and to bring everything in a physical way, and I was really in need of that. What is not so easy is to bring this actress to maybe producer, people who distribute her, because she's not so famous at this moment, and also she's not like a common girl, like victim girl. She's a bit intense. So there was I had to fight a bit for her, and I'm really happy to have her on stage. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for being here. Congratulations on the film again.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for being here. Thank you.